Bon appetit, bitch! Hi YouTube, it's me, Josh, and I'm ready to continue on with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Okay, so I've done a review on 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're now up to the 5th installment in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. The Dream Child. And just as a heads up, there are no spoilers in this review until the end, and I will warn you before they're coming. So, right now you do not have to worry about spoilers. Okay, so I'd like to start this review by just giving a brief description of how I felt about the previous ones, so you understand how I felt going into the 5th one. Okay, so Nightmare on Elm Street 1 was a pure classic. I loved it. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 was a decent sequel. I had a few problems with it, but I still liked it. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 was awesome and very entertaining. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 was a bit of a disappointment. I still liked it a little bit, but it was a bit of a disappointment. Now, I was reading the reception for Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 before I watched it, and it received a lot of negative reviews. Many people who've watched the Nightmare on Elm Street fans would say that Part 5 is the weakest of them. And Robert Englund, who plays Freddy, even said in an interview that it was his least favourite. So what do I think of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5? Well, it's definitely not as good as 1, 2, 3, 3. I'll say that. It's a little bit better than the 4th one in my opinion. But I can perfectly understand why some people wouldn't like this one as much as the other ones. I'll start off by saying the stuff I like about it, and then go into stuff I didn't like about it so much. Okay, so one good thing that's good about it is that a lot of my problems with the 4th one, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, cleared up. Like, the main character doesn't get killed off right at the start. Amanda Kruger is in this movie, and the movie kind of revolves around her story, and it expands on that, and I was glad about that, because with the 4th one, I was a bit disappointed how she wasn't in it, and this one does not have a plot so straightforward that a 9-year-old could have come up with it. I mean, the plot's not as complicated and interesting as the 3rd one, but it's certainly a lot more interesting than the plot from the 4th one. Okay, so briefly, without spoilers, what's it about? It's about Alice and Dan, her boyfriend, and Alice is convinced that Freddy Krueger is not completely dead, but Dan's like, oh nah, forget it, he's still alive. And then obviously it turns out that he is still alive, and this time Alice becomes pregnant, like accidentally, with an unfortunate situation with Dan. And so you learn that when Amanda Kruger was pregnant with Freddy, how he came out as kind of like this demon child, and there's something not right with him, and Freddy is trying to make history repeat itself while he's trying to make Alice's baby, whose name is Jacob, as kind of a demony child like he is, and the plot just expands from there. So the plot's pretty good, I guess. The killing scenes are good, I guess. I mean, there's some I liked. My favourite one would have to be the one at the dinner table, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The one at and the one on the motorbike's cool. However, there was one scene in this movie which I didn't really like, but I'll get into that more in the spoiler section. So, great killing scenes, the music was good, the acting was also good. Robert Englund, once again, did a great job as Freddy for the 5th time. So yeah, now, the stuff that I wasn't so fond of with part 5 was basically the ending. I did not really like the ending of the movie, to be honest. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'd say that the last 20 minutes or so was just complete crap. I'll just say that. And there was one scene in the movie which I absolutely hated, and it's my least favourite scene in any Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I hated this one scene. So now I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So if you have not seen A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, please do not watch the rest of this review, because I do not want to ruin it for you. Okay, so the part in the movie that I really did not like was the bit where Freddy kills that guy by using a cartoon. It's just so goofy and lame. I mean, I don't usually complain too much about the goofiness of Nightmare on Elm Street past the first movie, because they get goofy and goofy as they go along. Like, the second one was goofier than the first one, the third one was goofier than the second one, the fourth one was goofier than the third one, and of course the fifth one's goofier than the fourth one. But I just really hated that scene. It is poorly done, and just, it wasn't even cool. It's just a really bad scene. However, one scene that I did like was the opening scene of the movie. The opening was probably the best part of the movie for me, where Alice is drowning in her own shower, and then she has a nightmare about Amanda Krueger being raped, and so yeah, it's just really a great way to open the movie. And I like it how Freddy Krueger is not in the film right at the start, because it leaves some fear of when he does come. It's not as expected, and it's like that in the fourth one, and also like that about the fourth one as well. So the opening scene was great. Now, what I did not like about the ending is I did not like the setup of the ending. Like, the whole staircase is just plain weird and didn't really make a lot of sense. I wasn't impressed by the way Freddy was killed off, but I think Jacob killed him way too easily. I mean, Freddy's meant to be this unstoppable evil force, and I didn't really like how easily Jacob could kill him off. I thought that was a bit unrealistic. And I also wasn't impressed with the lack of creativity of the sign showing that Freddy Krueger's alive. I mean, at the end of every movie, they have, when Freddy's dead, they have a sign, a little hint that Freddy's still alive, and this one was just girls skipping, singing the Freddy Krueger rhyme, and I just thought they could have come up with a better way than that. So I didn't really like the ending of the film very much at all. So overall, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5. If you like the first 4, check it out, but a lot of people didn't like it that much, so just be warned that you might be a bit disappointing. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Welcome to Wonderland, Alice.